Hey, classmates. So the case study I chose this week is I'm going to butcher this, the Rajneeshi cult salmonella attacks of 1984. And the reason why I chose this is because I had never heard of it. Um, and then just the other day, I actually was at our Virginia State EMS symposium, and one of the classes I took, they actually discussed this case. So I felt kind of cool that the case was actually in this week's homework assignment. So I decided to kind of do my case study on it. Other than that, like I said, I'd never really heard anything about it. But so stage one of it is you're the director of a state law enforcement agency, and there's an outbreak of salmonella that has sickened approximately 30 people or so. What your plan of action is that you should probably contact the health department as well as CDC, try to figure out where the salmonella came from, as well as try to narrow it down whether it's poor food handling or in this case, biotoxins. And also to have the kind of the businesses or the restaurants closed down so you can figure out what's going on because you don't really want more people to get sick. Um, so obviously some of the resources, bring in some outside food because your people are going to be hungry. Um, if you don't know much about the area, it's about a town of about 10,000 people or so. So, I mean, you still need food and you get food inspectors there to make sure the food's healthy enough to eat. Um, and obviously some medical resources to treat the ill. I mean, if you're in a town of about 10,000 people, probably not a whole lot of medical facilities like there are in towns that, three, 400,000 people. So you don't really want your medical clinic or your hospital to get overwhelmed. um, Communications, obviously stay in touch with local state federal agencies to try to track if there's any more outbreaks anywhere else in the same county, um, same state, maybe like the next state over or a couple of states away, kind of track down, figure out what's going on. So stage two is you learn that several of the restaurants in the one city have been intentionally poisoned. Um, so the second outbreak has occurred, and now you're upwards of between about 750 to about over 1,000 different cases of salmonella of people who need to get treatment. Obviously, if you have a small clinic in town, if you have like a 6-bed ER or something, it's going to be overwhelmed quickly with this type of epidemic. Um, it actually takes place, I think it infected about 10 restaurants. Um, so obviously, you're going to try to get some local medical officials, try to get some medical clinics from like the next town or county over, try to get some help and some resources and people, as well as the medication needed to treat it. Um, so plan of action obviously is try to get the doctors and stuff that maybe specialize in biotoxins, probably help out a little bit better, as well as you can try to get law enforcement involved, try to figure out what the motives are, or what the root causes are, kind of go from there. And then the biggest thing is to start documenting what you found so far, um, what's happened. That way, when you need more resources, you already kind of have it documented. So when you have to go and ask state officials or whatnot for more people, more money, uh, they want to know why federal agencies are running in their backyard. You can kind of give them the scoop on it. So stage three, to talk about the outbreak, was actually limited to the salad bars of 10 restaurants. Um, the county officials believe it to be related to the cult. They actually obtained a search warrant for the compound. Um, and the other thing to do is really what you can do is there's not really any way to um, make people actually aware of it. So pretty much you either have to catch them in the act or you have to have the public kind of go, hey, there's something suspicious going on. Um, you know, report that kind of stuff. 1984, not really a whole lot of cell phones, not really a whole lot of social media. A little bit more difficult at times. Obviously, this day and age, you can take snapshots, you can take panoramic pictures. They can post pictures of all the cult members. Do you see any of these guys? Please call. Or you can set up, you know, um, like a Twitter account or a social media account where you can send pictures of people in the act of doing it. They can run through databases, figure out who it is. The other issue is that salmonella is actually a low-tech biotoxin, so it's very easy to kind of disseminate and get out there. It doesn't really take a high delivery item. So some of the key issues is that they actually obtained a search warrant for the compound. They found obviously a whole bunch of biotoxin and a whole bunch of different chemicals and stuff on it. They actually found at the time that they were trying to make a new way to spread AIDS, and other couple of diseases that no one really wants to talk about. Um, but you need to make sure that you contact organizations that have this type of experience. So like places like the CDC or public health, CDC, like big name labs, big name people that can easily pick up on this stuff. Talks about the key to stopping the attack is to find a common link in the people. And so what they actually found out was that they were actually trying to sicken the town people right before they're having a major vote. So that way the people on the ranch, which is a couple thousand of the cult members, could actually vote and get their candidates into office and get all the laws they want to pass, because the local town people were trying to pass ordinances and laws to kind of force out what they were doing at the ranch, which was kind of expanding it, building it. So ended up being somewhere about 750 cases to about 1,000 cases. They estimate of a town of about 10,000 people. Obviously, that's that's about 10% of the population. That's a big chunk that doesn't really go unnoticed. So that's really all I got. So thank you guys, and I look forward to the comments.